Burke's on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says, "Hey dude, you too must be from Marin." Marin County's A-OK, from Tam to Stinson all the way to MA. Fresh organic veggies in the market every day. Lieutenant Dylan and NWA.
Welcome to the Run TMC podcast. That is the Run, the Marin County podcast about basketball in the Marin County. I am Duffy Ballard, and with me as always is Coach Dave Levine, coming off a big win last night. I'm sure he's got some platitudes for his team and coaching staff that he wants to share with us.
Platitudes? Like that. You're always coming up with new ones. You dug up a thesaurus word, Duff.
I had an epiphany about what I was gonna use from my vocab list just this morning.
So opportune. Yeah, we had a nice win last night. Beat Lick Wilmerding by 25 at home on senior night. Emotional night. 6 seniors for San Domenico. Actually, I'm sorry, 7 seniors. Great night, great game. Can't believe how fast the season is going. We're almost to the playoff stuff.
Yeah. Now, of the 7 seniors, are you including Mike Fulton as one of those, as a senior citizen?
He
or
is
soon to be.
It was someone, Lily Reeser in the locker room, a tear-filled locker room where we were talking about each kid mentioned that this was also Fulton's senior night, and that brought some more tears. So, yes, Mike is retiring after 41 years of coaching.
That's amazing. Yeah, we have a recording. We'll play it at some point, Dave, of Coach Skaggs, the Skagger, giving him a nice tribute before a San Domenico game last month.
Yeah, that was great. It was great words from Jeff. Yep. So we're into a really fun part of the season, Duff. We're now in the final week. So we're recording this on Thursday, February 1st, and this is the last day of MCAL regular season. And there's a lot that rides on the games tonight. You guys have a big game.
Right.
Archie against Redwood. On the girls' side, there's a lot up in the air as well. So next week, we will be able to give you, our listeners, a firm picture of the playoffs for the MCAL. But right now, there's some uncertainty, right?
By the time this podcast drops, you can probably look in the Marin IJ and know who is in. The big game on the boys' side is MC and TAM. That's tonight. The winner's in the playoffs at either 3 or 4 seed.
Right. So Branson's locked up the 1 seed. You guys, Archie is
we're 2 or 3.
2 or 3, and Redwood is also in.
Yes, and they could be anywhere between 2 and 4.
Okay. And then on the girls' side, MC has locked up the 1 seed. Redwood is also in. I believe San Marin is a lock. And then there's a log jam. You have Tam, Archie Williams, and Branson are all in the mix, and it all depends on what happens tonight.
Yep, that's right. And next week, the schedule, Wednesday, February 7th, will be the semis for the girls and the boys. And the girls will be at 6 p.m., boys 7:30. And then Friday is the boys championship at Redwood. And Saturday is the girls championship at Carolinda, Dave.
And I should point out for Bay County's League West, where San Domenico and Marin Academy play, on the girls' side, San Domenico, we've locked up the 1 seed. We're 9-0 in league. We have our final league game tomorrow Friday against Marin Academy. University is the 2 seed. Lick Wilmerding is 3, and Marin Academy is 4. And our playoffs are next week at Kezar Pavilion in San Francisco, February 8th and 10th.
Great venue.
And then, absolutely. And on the boys' side, University, Stewart Hall, Urban, and San Domenico are going to be the playoff teams. Really, really deep league on the boys' side. It's been a lot of really fun games to watch.
Do any of these venues served iced coffee? Do they serve iced coffee for the fans?
You know, Duffy,
we should check on that.
Iced coffee is a wonderful thing. Although I will say, I've had a number of people approach me and say, you know what, iced coffee, no. Kind of hurtful.
Yeah, it's a certain time of year, time of day thing. I have to admit, Dave, I have consumed probably 100-fold more hot coffee in my life than iced coffee, which makes iced coffee just special when you have it.
I want everybody to know I really like hot coffee. I really do.
Right.
I just sometimes iced coffee is what I need, particularly when I'm on a podcast.
Yeah. When you choose iced coffee, you're saying to hot coffee, it's not about you.
It's not about you. Wow. That was a good callback to our Jonas Honick discussion.
You're welcome. Okay, NCS.
Do it.
So after the league playoffs, it gets complicated because there's North Coast section, and then there's NorCals, and then there's potentially state. And I am definitely risking player control foul here, Dave, but my understanding is that you are eligible for one of the 6 divisions of NCS, and those divisions are currently based on size of school, with the exception of the open division. You are currently eligible if you have achieved one of the following: either an overall record of 500 or better, an overall league record of 500 or better, or an overall record against division opponents. So if you're Division 2, that would be any Division 2 team you played, whether it be in league or otherwise, of 500 or better. And then if you qualify, they take that group of teams, and then there's a committee that will seed them, and you'll play through. If you make it to your NCS finals, if you're a finalist in Divisions 1 through 5, you are then eligible to also go to NorCals. In Division 6, because it's a smaller group of teams, if you make the semis, you are eligible to go on to NorCals. So anyway, so what can happen there is a team can not win the league and not even make the playoffs in the league, but they can still qualify for NCS and have a pretty high seed and have the ability to make a deep run into NCS.
So we discussed, with going back to episode 7 with Mike Saya and Ashley Saya, Marin Catholic last year was barely a 500 team, made the play-in game of the MCal and lost, but found their way did enough to make it to NCS and ended up making a really deep run.
Making a run. Yeah.
Made it to NorCal, I believe, right? And had a really great season. So if you make it to NCS, you got a shot.
Anything's possible.
Anything is possible.
And at MC again this year, they have an overall losing record. I believe they have 15 losses, but they have enough. They're going to qualify based on at least their league record, if not their record against division opponents. So they have a chance to do the same thing this year. I wouldn't be surprised if they do.
Yeah, and real quick, just the enrollment. Sometimes schools move up or down divisions based on just if they have a ton of success. Like, for example, University enrollment would be a Division 5 school, but they moved up to Division 4 a couple years ago just because they had so much success. I don't know the total criteria, but in general, Division 1 teams are kind of 2,000 students and above, roughly. Division 2 is kind of mid thousands. Division 3, 900 to 1,400. Division 4 is kind of 400 to 900 students. Division 5, 200 to 400-ish students, and Division 6 is smaller. So that's just a general guideline of the enrollment sizes.
So our over 35 league team, we can start our own high school. We could enroll the 10 of us, 11 of us. We could get a secondary degree. We could play in Division 6.
We would crush Division 6.
And then we could win a state title.
Absolutely.
Wow, let's
do it. Maybe in Rhode Island or Idaho or something.
So one other thing to mention, Dave, first of all, that my understanding is the open division, which they get the rankings directly from Max Preps. We've talked about Max Preps before. So the NCS actually takes their rankings from the rankings that Max Preps generates, which is based on record, strength of schedule, wins against common opponents, etc., or wins against quality opponents. So there are 6 teams that will qualify for that. We expect Branson to be in the mix.
On the boys' side, yes.
On the boys' side. And Redwood has been in the mix, but I don't know. I think they're probably on the outside looking in right now. But if they get a win over Branson, that could change. That will change next year, most likely based on a very recent proposal put in front of CIF that would have the NCS adopt the same system as the Central Coast section.
The CCS.
They've been using a system for 8 years, which allows for more open teams to be eligible and allows for easier moving up and down of teams based on both the size of the school, but also the quality of the program. In the NCS, there has historically been a 3-year process to move up or down. which if a team has, a number of really good players for 1 year and then, they don't have a glut coming in to back that up, it can lead to teams in higher divisions getting whooped a lot, and it doesn't lead to very competitive play.
Right.
So it sounds like that's probably going to be adopted next year. Dave, there is a 107-page document that I was just scrolling through that describes all of the potential changes for next year. And I'm going to spend just a few minutes to read the entire thing.
All 107 pages. Go.
Okay.
Sweet.
No, kidding. So, but yeah, that is my understanding. And as before, certainly some risk of player control. And speaking of player control, shall we go to player control?
What a great segue.
Yep. Nailing it. Okay. So do you have one, Dave? I have one.
I'm sure I have many, but I can't think of any right now. So go ahead.
Okay. So mine is in the intro to the last episode. I said to you, you are a Christian youth organization coach, right?
Duffy.
And that was wrong.
It's Catholic.
Okay. Catholic youth organization. I'm sorry. It was just a slip. So that is my player control. And it's also another good segue because we have a friend of the podcast who spent a lot of time and thought and collected a lot of numbers to give us an update on CYO in Marin County.
Mr. Tom Poser. Take it away, Tom.
So we should say Tom is the
athletic director.
Co-athletic director of St. Sebastian Parish.
Yes.
And friend of the podcast. He's very good with numbers as well. So this was a great update. Tom thought maybe it was too long. Dave and I thought it was perfect. So hope you enjoy. Thank you, Tom. And we'll be back, Dave and I will, in a moment.
Hi, David. Hi, Duffy. I hope both of you are doing very well. This is Tom Poser. I am calling to share a brief, hopefully brief, probably not brief, CYO update with you. As you know, I am now somehow one of the athletic directors for the St. Sebastian's CYO program. I've been coaching there since my son Charlie was in 3rd grade. He's now in 10th grade. So I think I've coached about, call it 12 to 15 teams at St. Sebastian's across the 3 children that I have, which is a lot, minus out the COVID years, of course. But a couple things to share. First off, it is called Catholic Charities. We refer to it as CYO because originally it was a Catholic youth organization. I did reach out to Steve Farbstein, who was the incredible coach at Terra Linda varsity head coach and the Terra Linda athletic director, just to get some stats for you. So I thought I'd share a few things with you from our conversation. First off, it's been around since the 60s. So CYO basketball in Marin County has been played since the 60s. The organization itself, of course, has been around since the late 1800s, but the basketball piece started in the 60s. Steve has been the commissioner of CYO in Marin County for 33 years, which is astounding and incredible and should be award-winning, of course. There are 14 parishes or programs playing basketball this year in the CYO system, 250 teams. So that's about 2,500 kids in Marin County in the CYO system, which is obviously makes it the largest basketball organization in Marin County. They have 1,100 games to play this year. Regular season average is 125 games per weekend. And he's got about 45 people per week that are working on behalf of CYO, including refs and timers. That's a big operation. So huge appreciation to Steve, who's a great guy and very responsive. Speaking on behalf of St. Sebastian's, I think we're one of the larger groups in CYO. We've got this year 35 teams or so. We have about 360 kids. I'd say half of those are girls, maybe slightly less than half are girls. We have 10 A teams, and the other 25 teams are B teams. So we tell people we're a B team organization with 10 A teams, just because that's the vast majority of our teams. I think we have 67 coaches volunteering this year, which is incredible, and we're very appreciative. All of them are parents. We do not have a single coach that we are hiring. And then we are led by Pam Nelson Campbell. Her daughter, Carly, you know very well, David. She's playing for you at San Domenico and committed to Stanford. She also has a son in our program, I believe at the 5th grade level. Great little kid, plays hard, big smile every day. And then we have about 18 people in management. We refer to it as the High Council, just for fun. And that's, I believe, of the 18, 10 are women. So we tout ourselves as a women-led organization specializing in B teams and focused on skill development. So we spend a lot of time on pivoting, cutting, back screening, sort of with the philosophy that a whole lot of cool stuff happens on the basketball court and then one kid shoots the ball. So that's what we're working on over here. Personally, I'm excited. I'm coaching, co-head coaching, along with Evan Lillevan, who's in the Branson Hall of Fame, as you know, and a great guy. He's got a bunch of kids in the program. We're coaching the 7th grade A-team girls together. We did not make the playoffs last year. We got one win in league, which was very exciting. Vast improvement. We got a shot at the playoffs this year. All the girls work super hard. We have 9 on our A-team. And they're all committed. They're all running and diving on the court and setting back picks. They also play lacrosse and volleyball and water polo. So getting all of them in the gym at the same time is a challenge, which I'm learning to be okay with. I'm trying to become a better coach along the way, partially due to listening to your podcast. So CYO is great. We watch games, we watch our friends' games, we become friends with the refs. You know, it's fun to watch because the coaches are our friends that we played against when we were kids, and now we're all coaching the young kids. And then even more interesting, all these kids flow into high school. So, you know, watching Branson versus Marin Catholic last night, a couple kids on Marin varsity that I coached in CYO that we coached, Duffy, along with Coach Tachiki. And then on the other side, Branson, you know, those kids, a bunch of them played for St. Mary's, and it's just fun. It's become really enjoyable. So it's a great group, a great leadership by Steve Farbstein, and I feel very lucky to be a part of it. We're about 3 weeks into the season, about 6 weeks to go, and I'm looking forward to hopefully being in the playoffs. Thanks, guys. Keep it up. Love the podcast, of course. Talk to you soon.
All right. Great.
Nice work, Tom.
Nice. So this is kind of the glossary drill down segment. Dave, you have anything to share?
But I like the one that you have, so I'm going to defer to you.
Do you want the quote or do you want the drill?
I want the drill.
Okay. This is one that Russ Bauer has been running. He took a rebounding drill and then adjusted it to make it full court. And this is great because it really gets you to focus on rebounding, offensive and defensive. It's a competition and it's also full court running up and down. So you have essentially 2 teams, you divide up, 5, 6 players on each team. You put 10 minutes on the clock. The teams you're keeping score. You score if you score a point, on a offensive rebound or a layup and a put back, and you get 1 point per offensive rebound. So you have the 2 teams, you line up at on one side, you got the offense out by the 3-point line. You got the defense down on the block, 1 ball. The defense can choose to throw it to either player. They throw it out and they close out. And then the player who catches it has to shoot it right away. Doesn't matter if they make or miss. If they make it, it doesn't count for a point for them, but it is a live ball. So what the defense has to do is get that rebound. And then as soon as they get it, they're going full court the other direction, Dave. And so the team that was on offense is now on defense going back the other way. And so you can get points for scoring on either end of the floor. So then you get down to that end and you swap it. So the team that had been on offense on the near end is now on defense and vice versa. And you just keep score. And you have new groups of 2-on-2 coming back out, and it gets quite competitive. So if a team gets an offensive rebound, they reset. So they stay on that end of the floor.
They keep the ball.
And they keep the ball.
That's a great drill and obviously very good conditioner, right?
Yeah.
So running full court, 2-on-2.
Yeah. So you have to get out and run. You have to, see the angle ahead, and then, the defense has to get back and stop the ball. So we're essentially drilling a lot of different, aspects of the game. It's not just Rodman. Hopefully our listeners know who Dennis Rodman is.
If not, please Google him.
Yeah, please do.
That's
or
great.
Google image him.
Yes.
Yeah, because you'll want to start there probably.
Yes. Good hair colors. No, that's awesome. Great drill. Love it.
Okay. Let's see. Well, we are going to get to our interview shortly, but first we're going to take a little pause for...
What time is it?
What time is it? 11:06 on
Duffy.
Thursday.
No, Duffy.
14 minutes 35 running clock on our interview, although we will have interspliced Tom.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sponsor time. First, if you listened to episode 22 with Coach Pribb, we did do some endorsements of the podcast from friends of the podcast, and we are still looking for new sponsors. Thank you to Luke Esterkin for helping us obtain Medium as a sponsor. And we did get one endorsement sent in a little bit late, and that was friend of the podcast, Dave Deneen, who was burping up some endorsements in between his other work. So we want to play that real quickly, and then we're going to get into our sponsors. So here you go, Dave.
Greetings, gentlemen. January 22nd, 2024. It's the first day of the spring semester here at the University of Nevada, Reno, where, Dave, I am enjoying a nice cup of hot coffee this morning. The Wolfpack men's basketball team is a surprising 1-3 in Mountain West play. Hopefully they can turn that around. Wanted to touch base real quick and tell you guys that I've been really enjoying the Run TMC podcast. If you are a historian or you like the history at all of Marin County basketball, this is the place for you. It started with Mike Fulton, who is creeping up on 600 wins as a coach, which is just an amazing thing. I had so many good memories with Mike doing the Lavin camps in the early 90s. And then some of the other episodes have just been great also. Mike and Ashley Saya. Any footage I have at all from when I was playing 35 years ago, Mike Saya seemed to be reffing my games. Michelle Bravelli, who, as a side note, I never get through geometry in 1988 without her at Sanderfeld High School. And then the legend, the Bay Area legend, Dan Dibley. And, it looks like Brooks Smith might be the best player you've had on, men's or women's. So keep it going, guys, and I'll look forward to the upcoming podcasts. Take care.
I love that guy.
Deneen's the man. Thank you, Dave.
So we want to thank our renewing sponsors, Jeff Skaggs and the Nike San Domenico camps, the Medium online publishing platform. We will be offering a discount code for that on our next episode, and Karen Hortsmeyer Real Estate. And our big re-up was with the Hub.
Love the Hub.
Have to say that I don't want to play favorites, but they're my favorite sponsor, Dave.
Oh,
Uh-oh.
whoa, Duffy.
Uh-oh.
Come on.
Got
now.
controversial. All right. So Dave, you have one menu item that you're going to describe in detail.
Yeah, I'm just going to talk about my favorite. My go-to order at the Hub is the number 4. It's the chicken burger. It's a house-made chicken patty. It's got melted Gruyere cheese, arugula, crispy onions, tomato, and sriracha chili mayo. It is awesome. I get it 90% of the time that I go to the Hub, and I always love it. So that's my plug. I also love the pesto chicken, and the burgers are great, but those are my 2 faves.
So if you go to the Hub 6 out of 7 days a week and you get the chicken burger 90% of the time, how many chicken burgers per year is that? We might need to bring in Tommy Poser for this.
The train leaves Bakersfield. I can't do math right now, Doug.
Okay. So yeah, the chicken burger is great.
Yep.
And is that what Joe Ufrat likes, or does he like the chicken sandwich? I think he likes the chicken burger. Friend of the podcast, Joe Ufrat.
Chicken burger?
He's going to be a guest someday.
Yes.
We will forgive him the fact that he is a Redwood grad because he had kids who went to Drake.
If you can't tell, Duffy is very focused on the Archie Williams Redwood game tonight.
All their different 2-guard sets are running through my mind. I just was up all night, watching Jake Vasquez go about 17 different directions off of the high screen. Anyway, let's get to the interview.
Let's get to the interview. So this was a fun one. We had another father-son combo. Marin legend Doug DeVore, Drake grad, played College of Marin, then Division I at Sam Houston, was on the legendary Drake team of 1982. He joined us along with his son Josh, who's a star player for Novato High. This was a lot of fun. Some really good nuggets. Listen to the end for sure, because Doug's ending story about George Knocktrebe is one of my favorite stories of all of our podcast episodes.
Yeah. That was good. Yeah, Josh DeVore, he had an amazing game against us a few weeks ago. with Novato. Really nice player. Got a beautiful stroke and can also take it to the rim. And, is a unselfish player too. So we talked a little bit in the interview about how that Novato team really plays together and is connected. And you could see that when we played against them and also on tape. Of note, Dave, Josh, as of our last stat check, was averaging 19 points per game in the MCAL and averaging a double-double.
Yeah, he can play. And what a good dude. I mean, you'll hear really thoughtful, nice kid, and going to be playing at the next level. Going to play in college. So this was a fun one, and why don't we listen, and then we'll catch up after, Duff.
Yeah, I think I'll just say real quickly that recurring theme, sort of a late bloomer, and Doug was a late bloomer who developed into an elite player. And I wouldn't say that Josh hasn't already bloomed as a player, but he's got a really high ceiling that he's not. It would seem to me he's got a lot of room for continued improvement, and he could be a dominant player into his 20s for as long as he wants to play.
Yep, absolutely.
So great to have him on. Hope you enjoyed the interview, and we'll be back for some quick perspective on the other side of this. Go ahead and start it.
Hold on. Okay. Ready to roll. We going?
We're going.
Okay.
I will edit out the first 20-something.
No, I like my clearing the throat. All right. Thanks for being here, guys. We're very excited to have Doug DeVore and his son Josh DeVore, two fantastic basketball players, legends in Marin, a Drake luminary in Doug, and a Novato High luminary in Josh. We're sitting in Duffy's. We're a new part of your house, Doug.
Something new today.
This is exciting. We're in the living room. So I'll go through the backgrounds on both of you guys, and then we just want to dive in and talk hoops with you. So let's start with Josh. So Josh is a current senior at Novato High. Played JV your freshman year, right?
Yeah.
And then 3 years of varsity.
Yeah.
Also, very successful AAU career on Team Rampage. We're going to talk about that.
Absolutely.
Very excited that Josh has signed on to play Division III basketball next year with Cal-Lutheran. Phenomenal program. Mike Fulton, famous alum, among others. There's been a good pipeline of Marin players playing at Cal-Lu, so we're excited to see you play in college next year. Josh is one of the best players in the MCAL. He's 6'7". He can shoot it. He's worked really hard on his game. It's been fun to see him progress over his high school career. We have a quote from our friend Owen Bugas saying Josh is a hard worker and a tall, lengthy shooter. So he's one of the best in the league, one of the best in the county, and no small feat to play college basketball. So congrats, bud.
Appreciate it.
That's awesome.
Thank you.
Sitting across from Josh is his dad, Doug DeVore, who I grew up worshiping and watching play. Doug was on that great 82 state title team at Drake, then went on to College of Marin, where he thrived as a player playing alongside Mike Fulton. We're going to talk about that. And from College of Marin, he got the chance to play Division I basketball at Sam Houston State in Texas, was an excellent player at Sam Houston State, and then embarked on a long career playing pro ball overseas, which we'll talk about for how long? Over a decade?
About 12, 13 years, yeah.
Awesome. That's so it's one thing to play pro ball, but it's another thing to stick for 12, 13 years. So that's amazing. Not controversially, one of the best players in Marin history, a legend. When we ask people for their dream team at the end during crunch time, multiple times people have mentioned Doug DeVore. So, and also importantly, coached pirate camps back in the day. I remember you wearing your Converse weapons. I remember those shoes.
Yeah, orange and white. Sam Houston State colors.
That's right. I still remember that. And then he also used to scrimmage against Duffy at Marin Academy.
Yeah.
And Duffy, you said he'd kick your ass.
I think I said they would take us to the woodshed, is what I...
Which is basically saying he would kick your ass. Along with the likes of Chris Fulton and Mike Fulton, etc. So thanks for joining us, guys. Why don't we start with, let's give Novato Hoops some love. So here we are. We're deep into the season. Josh, I think you guys are 9-14 as of today, but I was looking at your schedule and your results. You guys have had a lot of really close games, including,
absolutely.
It's a little awkward here sitting across from Duffy, including the Archie game was a really close one.
Yeah.
Tam was a really close one. So why don't you talk about the season and your thoughts on your team?
Yeah, I mean, because we knew coming into the season, I mean, this team that we're going to have this year didn't have a lot of experience with like playing at like the varsity level, because we have 3 or 4 guys that played varsity last year.
Okay.
So we knew coming into the season, these guys would be nervous coming into the season and not have the confidence. So that was something we were trying to build over the season. and it shows in like the games that end with like a point, or like we're down 1 or down 2.
Totally.
Because these guys just don't know how to end like games up at the varsity level, like especially with like the confidence. So that's just something we've been trying to build all season, for sure.
Yeah, it's I'm coaching a team right now that's got 6 seniors, and they've played our San Domenico girls team, and they've played in a lot of close games.
Yeah.
And when they were freshmen and sophomores, they were losing those games by 2 and 3, and now we're finding ways to win them. It's just reps, right?
Yeah,
It's just experience.
absolutely.
And so when it comes down to those close games, you guys have been right there.
Uh-huh.
So why don't you talk about a Novato Hornets practice? Is it hard? Is it long? Like are you going for 2 hours? Like what are practices like for you guys?
So for us, the practice normally lasts like an hour 15, hour 30. So they're not that long, but it's tough. I mean,
Yeah.
it's tough. I mean, especially with our coaching staff, you got to be on your game, for sure. I mean, like
Yeah.
the main focus we do a ton of defense, whether it's like head on ball, which is called, where you just do like
Yep.
one-on-ones down and back, or like blocking out and rebounding, because we are not the tallest team, so we need to rebound and we need to know how to block out.
Yeah.
So, and if you're not on your game, you will run. I mean,
Okay.
that's how we do, but that's why our team is really good condition.
Yeah.
Because we did a ton of conditioning over spring, over summer. So yeah.
And you had your old school diving after loose ball drills too.
Oh yeah, we do.
Like Coach
Yeah.
Blair puts in before practice. I
Yeah.
think that's cool, because
I love that.
I had to do it.
Well, you guys also, we watched a bunch of film on you before playing you, and our coaching staff, our takeaways were they're very connected. They play very well as a team, and you
Yeah.
execute your sets really well. And you've got a
Absolutely.
number of different sets, and you're probably the best I've seen on tape for MCAL this year. It's the way you guys executed, like the 2 high and your split action.
Yeah, because the one main difference of the team that we have this year compared to the teams that we had in the last 3, 4, 5 years, we have very, very good chemistry. I mean, we're all super close to each other. I mean, like probably half of the guys on this team I've known since I was 5, 6 years old, right? So just being able to play with these guys, like my last year, it's been fun for me, honestly.
So sorry, Dave. Are you guys still eligible or in the running for NCS?
Yes. So we have to win our next 2 games to make the playoffs for NCS.
Okay.
So
And one of those is San Marin again.
yeah. So we play at MC on Tuesday night for their senior night, and then we play at home on Thursday for our senior night against San Marin.
Big week.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's a huge week for us.
Well, good luck. So it's interesting when Duff talked about different sets that you guys run. What's your preference as a player? Do you like when coach calls out a set, or do you like just kind of free flowing, get it and run and kind of read and react?
So what we try and do is we get rebounds, just like push the ball. And then if we can't get anything out of that, we want to make sure we do get a set.
Yeah.
And so sets we like run. I mean, I'm not gonna say like the plays obviously, but like
Just give us all your secrets, Josh.
yeah, yeah. But I make sure we run a set every single time we come down court, because when we run our sets, we get buckets off of it. Like it's simple.
Totally.
So
Totally. Yeah. Awesome. So, Doug, let's talk to you. Let's get into your we'll get into your playing days in a little bit, but I'm
Okay.
interested, given we just heard from Josh about Novato. So you've lived your life. You were an amazing player. Now you're a basketball dad. So is it hard, or how do you handle yourself during a game? Are you quiet? Are you yelling? Are you coaching during the game?
definitely not quiet. I'll tell you that.
Okay.
I'm not trying to be Joshua.
Yeah.
The one thing you'll hear from me is cut. If I see one of our best our point guard, Travis Flick, whenever he's driving, and I see Josh standing, you always hear him saying cut.
Right.
And that's usually, and other than that I stay still. I don't cheer too much. I kind of stay. If I see Josh hit a 3-pointer, my expectation is, he's a good shooter, knock it down. The most excited I got this year, I think, was a 3-pointer against San Rafael when we were at San Rafael.
Yeah.
I kind of stood up a little bit and I kind of got a little excited about it.
Calm down, Doug.
Yeah. Yeah. But normally you'll hear me say cut, move.
Yeah.
But if he misses shots, he misses shots. I'm not there to play for him.
Yeah. So Doug, how tall are you?
I was 6'8" when I was young, and I'm now down to 6'7".
Okay.
And we remeasured him, and he's up to 6'8" now with shoes on.
Okay. So you guys have
we flip-flop, yeah.
Flip-flop. So compare and contrast your game at Drake with Josh's game at Novato.
Well, Drake, I was an inside guy. You know, we didn't have a 3-point line. We had I was an elbow shooter.
Yeah.
I was lucky to play pickup basketball back at old days back at Drake,
Yeah.
outside courts, and I can't say how many more games I've had underneath my belt than he's got the chance to play. I mean, because how many games he play on the weekends? 20, 30 games.
Total.
But literally right now, he's a better shooter than I was from the 3-point line, because it wasn't heard of shooting that far out. I mean, I never did, you know.
But you were unique in that, given your size, you could go outside and we were talking about this with your old teammate Mike Fulton, that you could bring 4s and 5s outside and shoot over them or take them off the dribble.
That was my favorite thing to do, was bring guys out. And I knew, you know, and I wasn't stronger than anybody. I wasn't more athletic, but I knew I had fundamental skills. I knew if a guy did step out, I'm going to go by you.
Right.
You know, and whatever happens next. But I knew I was able to go by somebody.
Yeah.
Pretty quickly.
Yep. Absolutely. Awesome. So, Josh, when did you start playing hoops?
To be honest with you, I mean, since I was able to walk, like,
Yeah.
since I was maybe 2, 3 years old. I mean, there was a ton of influence coming from my dad, obviously, but yeah, I mean, ever since I was able to walk, I just had like a ball in my hand. And there's one picture of me of when I was probably 2 years old, I would say, like just with like a ball, and it just shows like how young that started.
Yeah,
for sure.
Awesome. And so when you started to play kind of organized basketball, did you play pickup? Like, was your dad making you go down to the park?
No, I never, because I've always heard the story of how he would go down to like the outdoor courts at Drake or like and play there. Yeah. And,
call it Drake. It's okay.
And play there for like 5-6 hours a day. Like, and I've never really done that. So
yeah,
it's just kind of cool. Like, it's just kind of cool to see like what kids did back then and what kids do today.
Yeah.
So
when you were growing up,
yeah,
did you know Doug? Were you still playing when he was young?
Well, the first time I ever took him to a basketball court to play, he was crying because he wasn't out there. You know, so he saw me play when I got older, when I was in the over 40 league.
Yeah. When
I was hitting threes, and there's a cool video of me hitting a three and Josh cheering like that. But we played against each other, but just outside the house.
Yeah.
Did it get competitive? Did it get
absolutely. I mean, we would play these games during the summer. I remember when I was like a lot younger, and when he was able to play good, right?
Or move.
Yeah.
Those are the days.
Yeah.
Yeah. We would play games like 100, and we'd have like a halftime, like, and we would just play that like for like 3 or 4 times like a day. Like that's all we did during the summer.
That's awesome.
I would always try and go at him. If I scored on him, I would let him know I scored on him.
I'm sure you did, as well you should, Josh.
You guys saw our court down there during the pandemic. You know, Holden and we were probably an hour and a half a day just playing some one-on-one. And like I blocked his shot enough times that he decided to develop a left hand. So, you know, it's one of the ways to develop as a player.
So, Josh, in addition to your dad, were there coaches who had an impact on you as you were coming up? I mean, clearly you're very skilled. You're tall and skilled. That's a really good combination.
Yeah.
How'd you get those skills?
I mean, one of the main people that really kind of started me with basketball, his name was Scott Morgan. I mean, he was like the person who taught me how to play basketball beside my dad.
Yeah.
I mean, because he taught me how to shoot with like the right like forearm, which is called like LI dot, I believe. So definitely him. And then I would say all the guys with like the North Bay Basketball Academy program I played with them growing up. So they all helped me develop it. And I just like completely changed my game with them.
Awesome.
And then even in high school too, when I discovered like the Team Rampage, I mean, like all 3-4 coaches over there, they like tremendously helped me too. So them for sure.
Yeah. I want to get into Rampage in a little bit.
Yeah.
Would you describe, we talked to Kevin and Jake Vasquez about a one motion shot versus a 2 motion shot, like where the one motion is it just kind of all starts and goes through with fluidity, whereas Jake, will get to a point and kind of pause a little bit.
Yeah.
I think you're kind of a one motion shot, right? I mean, it's so fluid and you release as high and you can shoot from 24, 25 feet.
Yeah, I would say
like
so.
it.
Yeah.
So that probably
took some time to develop.
Oh yeah, because when I was younger, I would always shoot with two hands. I mean, 'cause I would never have right here. I would always have like my elbow out and just kind of shoot with two hands. Because when I was younger, I wasn't like strong enough to shoot it.
Yeah.
And then my dad taught me like you can't have like your arm out like this.
Right.
You gotta have your arm tucked in. So for sure.
So what are your Cal-Lu coaches saying to you about, okay, next year, what do you got to work on? Like coming into your freshman year?
Main thing for me, honestly, is my strength. That's gonna be something I'm gonna be working on from when the season ends until I get to Cal-Lu. And then another thing that I know I need to work on is just my overall playing on defense, because they are a very good defensive team. I mean, they're number one in their conference for a reason.
I think they're ranked 10th in the country for Division threes.
And they're ranked 10th in the country, and I believe they hold teams to under 65 points a game, which is number one in their conference.
Very impressive. Yeah.
Yeah. So
All right.
they're very good on defense. So that's probably like the main thing I'm like trying to focus on for sure.
So how did you guys handle the recruitment process? What other schools were looking at you? And Doug, I'm interested in your perspective here, having gone through it yourself.
Yeah.
There you go. I think Pacific University in Oregon, there was a couple schools on the East Coast, San Francisco State. And we were on the NCSA website, which is, we paid money to get film out and everything else. Yeah. And we had a lot of Division III schools calling and looking and sending emails. And we're still getting emails from Texas. I think they're form emails. Okay. But to everybody. But, when we looked at Cal-Lutheran and we went down there, and he went down there for a visit, he just loved the coaches, the coaching staff. Coach White, he told Joshua and told us, hey, if Joshua wants to go somewhere else after 2 years or 1 year or whatever, he will help him. And it's like, I've never heard of that.
That's great.
A coach saying that.
Wants what's best for a kid.
But, and we decided, and Joshua decided, hey, I want to sign early and get it over with. We don't want to be that kid at the end of the year going, who wants me?
Right.
And Cal-Lutheran, they called, they would text, they talked to Joshua.
Yeah, because the thing with them that was huge is they found me very early in the spring season, because they found me at my very first tournament when I went down to Los Angeles. And it was actually kind of funny the way they found me is they were trying to recruit another kid on my team. Okay. And he just played terrible that weekend. I won't say his name. He played just a bad tournament, and I played really good that tournament. So then they found me, and then I kept talking to them throughout the spring, throughout the summer, and then I went down to their camp, which was at the start of September, played very well at the camp, and then they invited me down for an official visit mid-October. And then pretty much the thing that Coach White told me, who's the head coach, he told me, okay, Josh, we're done recruiting you as soon as you say you want to come down here and you do want to come play for me, we can get the roster spot all figured out. Boom, done.
Great.
So that was one of the main reasons I did choose Cal-Lu.
So do you think? So it sounds like your experience with Rampage really was helpful.
Absolutely.
Right? So getting that exposure.
Absolutely. I mean, whenever there's kids that are trying to pick a team to play. I will ball for. I always suggest Rampage first, and if they are interested, I tell the guy from Rampage, hey, I got this guy, because
vouch for that kid.
Yeah, because there is this kid that I'm very close with. He's a junior on the JV team, but he wants to play some type of college ball, whether it's starting at a junior college or something. Right. So I told him look, text this guy, text
Coach Bracey.
Coach Bracey on Instagram, and I'll text him too, and maybe we can get you down for a few trainings. So I wasn't.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, that's very cool, and that's we're hearing a lot about how club basketball is really helping kids find spots in college.
One question about that, Dave, because we've done a little bit of club basketball, and sometimes you'll see that you'll go to Fairfield, Vacaville, wherever for a tournament, and the team will have 14 kids, on the roster for 2 games, right? And then one kid might play.
You get 6 minutes,
12 minutes,
right?
In the weekend.
Yeah.
Sounds like maybe it's a was different with Rampage.
Yeah, so we in our first 2 tournaments we played down in LA, and then we played in Arizona. We had guys that were unsigned seniors, so we had kids like Joaquin Rosmore, who's now playing at Gonzaga, Antonio Terry, who's at City College San Francisco,
Christian Wise, who's at San Jose State.
Okay.
We had those guys playing with us. And then once they left, our team was cut down like to 8, right? So, yeah. So then we pulled up 2 kids that are now sophomores. So we had like an even team of 10. So it's not that kids would play in one game and then they wouldn't play in the other game. Like, they're all playing both games. So that's why I was a big,
Gotcha. Yeah. We had a great conversation with my old Branson coach, Jonas Honig. And we were talking about kind of because he's at Prolific Prep now, right?
Yeah.
Which is a really
huge
top 5 school in the country. They were playing Cooper Flag. You know, we were talking about how are you going to guard Cooper Flag? But we were talking about the difference between, like, Doug, when you were growing up playing pickup at the courts versus kids today. They don't play pickup, but they play club. And Jonas made this interesting point that I hadn't really thought of, which is like, you play AAU, Duff, you just hit the nail on the head, right? You play all weekend, you drive, it takes up your whole weekend, and maybe you get on the court 20 minutes, right? Whereas you go down to the park for 3 hours and play pickup, you're playing for 3 hours.
Right.
Or you're getting so many more reps and touches in, right? And so that's one thing. So that's awesome to hear that, like, with a team like Rampage, where you got a roster that's not so massive that you're actually getting a lot of run. And that's critical.
And here's the thing about playing pickup basketball is you win, you stay on, right? So the pressure of playing well, and if I have 4 other guys, and one of the guys, if say I have Josh on my team and he's not playing hard enough, I'm going to let him know, because I don't want to have to sit out for an hour and put my name back on the list.
That's exactly what Jonas, and we were also talking about kind of also pecking order. Like, literally, Duff and I just played pickup 20 minutes ago. I'm on a team. We got a game winner. I'm not shooting well today. I'm not shooting that game winner. I'm getting it to the guy who's going to make the game winner. And that you kind of learn that, having a feel for, okay, this is a really critical point.
Yeah.
Let's get it to that. So that's really helpful when you're in a close game.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because if the wrong guy's shooting the ball and you get to sit out for an hour, you go, what are you doing?
Exactly.
Stop shooting.
Talk about pressure, right? All right, Doug, when did you start playing as a kid?
I think 6th grade was my first time playing.
Fairfax, San Anselmo?
San Anselmo. I played for St. Anselm's.
Okay.
And I didn't take it really serious.
Were you good?
I was all right. I wasn't. And then I met Steve Kennevoort. He was my neighbor down the street.
Okay.
And we started hanging out, and he was a year older than me. And he kind of said, hey, you got to start doing something. Because if you go to Drake, you have to play basketball. You know, you don't go there for football or whatever. So me and Steve would be playing against each other. He would always kick my ass, and just because he was just a great basketball player.
And he's one of the best to ever play in Marin.
Yeah.
Play at Santa Clara.
Absolutely. And that's what got me into playing. You know, Mike Saya coached me as a freshman. Mike's still the nastiest, loudest, maybe run more than any other coach in my life, but he was a phenomenal coach.
Oh, of course.
You know, but that's what got me in playing. I mean, I wasn't really serious about it until Steve said, you got to be serious about it, you know.
And so you go to Drake, and I mean, obviously you're on this legendary team. Everybody says it's the greatest team in Marin history. What was it like being on that team? And because one of the things I heard about you, I mean, I think about you as just this, you're an unbelievable, one of the best players to ever play Marin, but in high school, you weren't one of the you weren't the leading scorer on that team.
No, I rode the bench. I had the best seat in the house.
Huh.
You know, I
Dan Dibley.
Yeah, we had to sit there and I you know, there was 4 or 5 guys all went to college to play basketball. And then you had Steve Lavin as a six man.
Right.
You know, that's crazy. I'd get in the games, but usually get in games when there were blowouts. But I got really good playing against these guys in practice. Yeah. That's the thing. Here I am, you know, playing against Dan Hunt, you know, 6'8", large fella, you know, big guy.
Played pro ball in Australia.
And I had to guard him. You know, Steve Kennevoort, all the guys, Chris Fulton.
Yeah.
I remember Mike Dibley drove a lane one time and I blocked a shot. I said, this is cool. Guy who comes off the, so I didn't play much, but it was phenomenal just learning the game from all those guys.
What was it like for you playing for Pete Hayward?
Frustrating sometimes. You know, he taught me how to shoot. You know, if you know Pete teaches kids how to shoot. He brought in a shot doctor usually every basketball camp that people don't remember, that this guy would come around and shoot and he wouldn't miss a shot.
Yeah.
Like, how's this guy doing it? Literally in a gym full of kids just watching him. Yeah. You know, my senior year with Pete, you know, Mike Hayward was a freshman. So I would end up scoring 7-8 points in a quarter. Then Mike would come in. Okay. So I got frustrated with that, you know, and in the end, everything worked out fine. But Pete also, my senior year, we played Reardon and we lost to Reardon. That broke our streak of games. And he put me back in the game. I remember he called me a name. I won't say it, but it was kind of a name like I'm being too soft.
Okay.
Right. And he said, stop being, once I heard that, I was like, it was kind of a wake up call. Okay. Doug, you got to get together and start playing hard. That's ridiculous, and that moment on, I started playing a lot harder,
And were you strong then? Or
No, I just had fundamentals. You get the ball in the post, head fake, all these different post moves. We ran the flex offense the whole time, and flex was great because I can come off a screen.
You get that elbow
and shoot
jumper.
that elbow jumper.
Absolutely.
You were athletic though, or for like a high school player.
I was okay. Yeah, I was a basketball player. I wasn't jumping out of the gym. I wasn't. That didn't happen till later. But
Yeah. So you go to College of Marin. So I assume you're coming out of Drake, you're not getting much interest from colleges, or were you getting recruited at all?
I had a few letters, but nothing major
Were
because
you like on any all league?
I think it was honorable mention.
Okay.
If that. So, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to College of Marin anyway. That's what kids did.
Yeah.
So my good friend Brian Snyder and I, we went to College of Marin. We played, 2 years there. The coach, Willie Lanier, he's from the East Bay.
Yep.
He woke me up to show me, hey, I'm not that tough. Hey, Marin County basketball is this,
Yes.
but now you're going against Contra Costa. You're going against all these different JCs. You got to pick your game up. So he really elevated my game of playing harder and playing tougher.
And your point guard was Mike Fulton.
Mike Fulton, yes. My second year was Mike, and he was the one that I still say to this day that one game against Sacramento City College,
Yes.
he was able to feed me the ball in certain ways where I was able to turn around dunking on guys. And Mike, because of Mike, I think that's what got me elevated to go to Sam Houston.
So Mike talks about that game. It was a playoff game, I believe,
Yeah.
right? Against Sac City. And there were several Division I coaches in the gym,
Right.
is what he said. He also said that he did a nice job of giving the ball to you and that you absolutely dominated, but that you both fouled out of that game.
Right. It was a tough game, but it was fun. It was because look what we're doing. A couple kids from Marin are just tearing this team up.
Yeah.
And that was great.
Yeah.
And that was great. And I love Mike. I love Mike's passing because I can still see it today. I'm pinning the guy. He dribbled down, boom, little bounce pass, turn, and dunking.
Yeah.
And I wasn't dunking like that during the season. For something came into me, got into me, and it was like, this is phenomenal.
But it's pretty cool that you stepped up at that time with all those coaches in the gym and performed. Go ahead, Doug.
let's go. Did he boss you around on the floor?
Oh, yeah. Mike, if I wasn't doing anything right or well, he'd let me know. And that's what a point guard should do in a respectful way. Mike he wouldn't threaten me, right? But that's Mike Fulton.
Yeah.
He got me playing where I was playing. And I had a coach doing the same thing,
Sure.
So.
Yeah, that's good.
I can vision.
Well, Mike was always, I played with Mike in adult league. He was a coach on the floor.
Right.
Always. It's nothing has changed. So COM was a good experience for you, College of Marin?
It was great. It was a good stepping stone. I didn't know where I was going to go. I got, Coach Lanier back in the day before the internet, you got to send out letters,
Right.
recruiting letters. And my coach for Sam Houston State, Coach McPherson, he went to the junior college tournament and asking who's not here that's any good. Right. And then my name came up because I was Bay Valley Conference Player of the Year, whatever.
Yeah.
So they flew me out for a visit, not even seeing me play. Right.
Yeah.
So I played pickup game. They watched and whatever. And then it's funny. The coach flew back and said, "Hey, I want you to. I'm going to sign you to a scholarship." Okay. So we sat in the office, signed my letter, went and go out and played for him. And it was the first time he saw me play. I airballed my first shot. I missed a dunk. My junior college coach called me over and go, "What are you doing? You better pick it up because he's going to tear that paper up."
This isn't going well.
Yeah. So then right after that, I did well. And I got the scholarship, so I was lucky enough to go.
And then wasn't there like one school that you did want to go to, but then you didn't end up going?
Well, it's interesting. Recruiting was Montana State.
Yeah, that's who it was.
Montana State. The coach came visit me at the house.
Yeah.
Said they wanted me. Then I got the call from him. We're going with a junior college or for a high school kid. Went down to UC Riverside. That was fun. Wanted to go there, but my mind was set on going Division I, and I probably should have gone to UC Riverside, better schooling by far. But Drake, if you go to Drake, you want to go Division I. That was just the mentality. It wasn't about the school. You want to go D1.
So where in Texas is Sam Houston State?
Well, Huntsville, Texas, where all the prisons are.
Okay.
And interesting thing is I see all these, and I work in a jail at Sonoma County for sheriff's office in Sonoma County. And I was seeing these guys march. The people are trying to learn how to work in a jail. And I go, God, why would you want to work in a prison, in a jail?
Yeah.
So, and now
you work.
now I work in a jail. now that's my life for the last 23 years.
So who else is in the conference, or was in your conference at least at that time with Sam Houston?
Oh, Nicholls State, Stephen F. Austin, a bunch of schools in southeastern Louisiana, schools I never heard of, and it's amazing how many schools there are out there when you go on a trip, and how many basketball players there are out there.
Well, you always see, Stephen F. Austin's like, a 15 or 16 seed in your bracket, right? So did you guys ever come close to did you guys ever make the tournament?
Yeah, we made my junior year, we made the tournament because we're still transitioning to Division I. Okay. We're on probation, I guess it was. You have to have a probational period before you switch over.
Yeah.
You have to wait like 3 or 4 years.
Yeah.
Switch from D2 to D1.
So
like 3 or 4.
we were ranked number 2 in the country, Division II.
Okay.
So we ended up playing, and we got bounced in the first round. So, but it was fun.
Yeah.
It was fun. But then the interesting thing about college basketball is then my coach went to Charlotte Wilmington, UC Wilmington.
Yeah.
And he called my junior college coach. He goes, "Hey, I want you to transfer." And so my junior college coach says, "Hey, call Coach McPherson, tell him you want to go there." So I said, "Okay." I did. I talked to him. I'm all set to leave.
Yeah.
And then I called my college coach, Sam Houston, and they go, "We're not going to release you." And they I didn't know that. I didn't know that
they were going to pull your scholarship, or.
Well, I didn't know that I can say I'm leaving.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
So I ended up going back to Sam Houston and just finishing out my senior year there.
Okay.
Because that league, UC Wilmington, was with David Robinson was in the league.
Sure.
Playing for Navy.
Yeah.
They were at the time in the same league. I said, that would be kind of cool to play there.
Yeah.
But I say it's Sam Houston.
Well, I'm glad you didn't have to guard David Robinson.
No, I did enough of that. I did enough of that when he was in the armed forces over in San Francisco because we played against him 3 or 4 times.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Large human being.
So would you have to guard a set? Like, I mean, David, for our listeners who are young, I don't know, Josh, if you know David Robinson, I mean, one of the best players in history, 7-footer, amazing, played with Tim Duncan for the Spurs. Could you guard a 7-footer?
I can try. We had on our San Francisco Pro-Am team with Bucky and Ajo, we had guys who were a little bigger.
Yeah.
When David Robinson was in the game, I stayed outside.
Smart.
I'm shooting the ball outside. I'm not gonna let him block my shot because he will block my shot. So I stayed outside and shot outside jumpers.
So how did you blossom as a player? Because I've had multiple people say, we've even touched on it, that when you were at Drake, came off the bench, you were fine. Maybe honorable mention-ish, all league, but not like, and then you go on to play multiple, over a decade of pro ball.
Right.
I mean, you're one of the best ever from Marin. How did your game elevate post high school? What were the factors?
Well, I think coaching, I play in a bunch of different leagues, going overseas, you have the pressure of, if you don't perform, they send you home. You go to New Zealand and usually, or let's take Luxembourg, for instance, I was the only import on the team. And if you don't score 20, 30 points, they're going to give you a ticket and they're going to send you home and bring someone else in. So I had to do it. But I think I was just a late bloomer. Like Josh was going to be a late bloomer.
Yeah.
I think, a couple of years, Josh will be a phenomenal basketball player. I think he's got, a lot of room to grow. For me, I just kept getting better because I kept playing. I nonstop playing. I was lucky.
Yeah.
I was lucky with that.
Awesome. So, hey, Josh, I want to talk a little bit about, let's go back to club basketball because I think that's interesting. So you mentioned on Team Rampage, you had, Joaquim Arroz-Moore, who's a great player for Branson, who's now playing for Gonzaga. He's on the Gonzaga team, which is incrable. Absolutely. Will Heimbrodt is he on that, right? He's a great player for Archie. He's now at Seattle U. So what style of play does Rampage play? Are you guys run and gun?
It was straight positionless basketball.
Okay, 5 out.
I mean, you didn't care if we had the guards posting up their guys and like the big man were playing outside. Like he because he knew that for guys like me and my teammate Larry, who plays at Duffy High School, when we would get to college, weren't going to be like the 4 or 5.
Right.
We would play maybe the 3. So that's why he was trying to develop our game on like the outside. So yeah, it's like, I mean, straight positionless. And it's kind of funny with Team Rampage is we rarely ran sets. I mean, we would just, cause we we barely practice because it's just such a big commitment.
Right.
Because not a lot of guys live where our coach lives, because he lives like
Vacaville, Vallejo, yeah.
Vacaville kind of.
Okay.
So we would rarely practice. I mean, the only time we would run sets is if like coach called a timeout during the game.
Okay.
Said, all right, we're gonna run this play. Boom, we would run it and score. So that's why. Yeah. I mean, we would play like straight positionless.
Yep.
I mean, just not run sets, but I mean, still played good either way.
That's great. And that's obviously the trend. And, I think it's a really good strategy. I mean, it's interesting. We were talking to our friend KK, Caden Korst, who played for Cal Stars, which is a really good girls AAU program. And she said they had tons of sets, but they would run 5 out, but they would start. It's kind of like what you were talking about with Novato, right? They'd start most possessions with a set to kind of facilitate something, but then it's read and react, play basketball, right? You're not a robot.
Yeah.
But she said that's one of the reasons that they're really, really good is they had all these these sets in their bag.
And the thing about Coach Bracey for Rampage, what he does, he promotes kids. It not only going to tournaments where college coaches or scouts are watching. You go do a workout, he'll film it and put it on his Instagram or his Twitter feed, whatever. And he's followed by a ton of coaches. So whenever any kid on his team, and he still does it now, practice, he's filming the practice, watching his kid work, game things. He'll put it on his Instagram, and he promotes. And that's if you're a young kid looking for an AAU team, a team to play on, find a team with guys that can promote you. Don't just go on these travel trips and just play games and that's it. You need to get promoted.
Well, we talked to Alex Pribble. I don't know if you had the chance to listen to that one, but he's so good, such a good guy and such a good coach and he's a great player. But we talked about recruiting, and he basically said the way that he recruits, he's a D1 coach now at Idaho, right? Said it's all relationships,
right?
And it's coaches he knows, and it's AAU coaches he has connections with. And if they, he said, like if Jonas Honick calls him or Doug Donnellan calls him with a kid, he's going to take that call and he's going to listen to that coach because it's all about relationships. So that's amazing. That's great that with Rampage, that guy clearly has relationships.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's going out and promoting his kids is that's great.
Yeah, because that's where I got all of my film from. Well, I mean, he would film.
Yeah.
Because I'll kind of talk about how I found Rampage. I mean, it was like the fall of my junior year, like mid-September, and I was like, I'm really trying to play at the next level, and I need to find someone that is going to help me get there. So I saw my friend Nick Cubley, who plays for San Marin.
Sure.
He was playing for this team called Team Rampage. I was like, what team is this? But I mean, he was playing good. He was getting film. So I texted Nick and said, look, is there a way I can play with you guys in like your next tournament? And he said, I don't know. I mean, you can text the coach on Instagram because that's where I should. And so he was like, yeah, you should text the coach on Instagram and just see what he says. So like I sent him like a long message on Instagram saying like my name, like height, weight, like my experience in basketball, and but the main thing I told him was I want to play college basketball. It's fine with me starting at like a junior college or starting at Division III. I just want to play at the next level. So then he texted me back and said, yeah, I mean, I'm doing a training tomorrow night at Tamalpais High School. You should come down. So I was like, perfect, great. Right? So I went down to Tam. I did the training. I did pretty solid at the training.
Yeah.
Then he invited me to our next tournament. Or to their next tournament, which was down some place in like the East Bay. First game, he had a guy there filming. His filming thing is Untold Greatness.
Okay.
And his name is Jordan, and he filmed the whole thing. First game, I came off the bench, had 9 threes, 32 points. Right. So
there's another 9 3.
No, but that
Can't
game
hit 9 threes in an empty gym.
No, he was. He even had a heat check shot where he crossed half court and jacked it because he was making these threes. I was like, okay.
It was like a Dame Lillard kind of.
Normally I'd be like, what are you doing? Okay, I get it.
Yeah, and then so I played that game, and then I played another game after that. I played well, and then I went home that night, and he already put out the film like from that game, and then the next morning I was going to school, and I get a text at like 7:30 in the morning from this guy. It's like, hey, it's Coach Book from UC San Diego.
Oh, wow. Already you're getting some interest.
Yeah.
I would love to hop on a call with you.
Nice.
And I was like, holy shit. Like, this is crazy. So like I hopped on a call with him. And then unfortunately, like the connection with UC San Diego, it didn't end up panning out because the coach that called me, he was at the time, he was like the assistant coach at UC San Diego, and then he got the head coach job at Cal State San Marcos.
Oh, okay.
So he switched to there, and then then I kind of lost like the connection with them.
Gotcha.
But I mean,
But it worked out well, though.
yeah, it was still super cool at the
Yeah.
time.
That's great. What a cool story.
Absolutely.
All that's great. Good job, Team Rampage. But Josh, I think hitting 9 threes, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So, Doug, I want to come back to you, and I want to talk about your pro hoops days, because you're unique in that, again, longevity as a pro, but then you also did, as Tom Poser calls it, you did the double pro thing, where you would play part of the year in one country,
Yeah.
and go and travel and play the rest of the year in another country. So talk about that.
Well, that was when I was playing in Luxembourg. I'd go there from, was it September, or I get to the end of August, and I go there till March, play in their season. And then from March, I'd fly right to New Zealand and play in their season. I did that 4 years in a row. So I never made it home.
Wow.
I made it through a transit lounge in LA airport. Is the closest I got home.
So what years was this?
Well, I played in New Zealand from 1990 to 2000. So 96.
Okay.
So from 96, I started playing in Luxembourg, and I played 4 seasons there, but I kept going back and forth.
So you're probably like late 30s at this time?
My last year was when I was 35. So I literally, because I went to, like I said, I played in Spain for 2 years, right 88, 89. And then I'd hit New Zealand. I mentioned you guys earlier that I went to Austria for a weekend.
Yeah, right.
Where they brought me in to replace a 7-foot Russian guy, and they wanted an African American to bring in the people to watch, because that was pre-internet. So I pretty figured out when I got off the plane, the guy looked at me and it was like, put his head down. But I practiced well, and I did well. And then a couple of days, they go, hey, yeah, we're gonna send you home. You know, here's $1,000. Go ahead and head on home. So I said, okay, whatever. I was fine with that.
Yeah.
Did you take the Russian home with you?
No, he was terrible. He was slow, but it was one of those cases where he tried and guard me outside, and I was going by him. I was like, I'm gonna make this statement. This is gonna be easy. But sure enough, they want us, and then that was my introduction to, hey, you got to play hard, or they're gonna send you home. So that was pretty quick.
So what were for Josh, right? So in a couple of years, Josh is gonna have a great career in college. Maybe the NBA doesn't happen, but if he has opportunities to play pro ball overseas, what would you say are the pros, the good and the bad of playing professional basketball overseas?
Well, people think you're getting millions of dollars, and you're not getting millions of dollars. You're getting money, you're getting housing, you're getting a place to live, you're still playing basketball, and you're traveling. Those are the great things. I mean, for me, I met my wife, Margaret, and she's the glue of the family. Yeah. That's why he has the smarts, 3.8 grade point average, not me. That's why he's still playing music, because of my wife. But you have to, that's a good thing. But the downside is you miss your family. You get terribly homesick. When internet started happening, I was like, cool, I can get, closer to home, but you do miss your family. Yeah. That's probably the biggest thing.
And Brooke Smith talked about that too. That's
and it would be easy for me now if I, FaceTime all this stuff now, right. But back my first couple of years in New Zealand was like, okay, I don't really have internet going on right now. I don't have
So how good were you, like in the New Zealand league? Were you one of the best players in the league? Or?
When I started in Division II, I had to go to Division II first, and I had to get my team up. I was averaging 46 a game.
Okay, so that's decent.
So
almost as good as your son.
Right. So, but the weird thing was, when I'd have a cold or had the flu, and I knew that we had a game that night that I had to go out and score. Yeah, that was going to happen, and it usually happens. So I never called myself good. I never tried to toot my own horn, believe it or not. I just went out and played. Yeah, it's like the Marin County Hall of Fame. I've never been in it. No one's ever nominated me. Yeah, it's not a big deal to me. Yeah, but playing in
nominations,
I think Duffy as
any ability to.
As we have podcaster clout.
We're going to change the NCAL playoff system. We're going to change the round robin.
That's right.
We're going to get Doug into the whole.
That's right.
Yeah,
There we go.
but playing overseas was great. It was a great experience, you know. But then when I hit 35, I needed to figure out a retirement. You know, 'cause I was married to Margaret when I was in Luxembourg.
Yeah.
She was over in New Zealand, and I said, you know, I got to start getting a life. So I applied to the sheriff's office in Marin County because my buddy worked for Marin County, and I applied to sheriff's office in Sonoma County.
Yeah.
I would leave on a Sunday, fly out there, take the test I need to take on a Monday, fly back. Then I'd be at practice Tuesday.
Wow.
So I did that about 4 times.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So
It's a lot of playing, a lot of miles.
yeah.
Yeah. Go, Duff.
A question about like playing overseas and, New Zealand. We talked a little bit about New Zealand before we started the interview. I spent some time there living over there. As a player there, did you feel like you got to really see the country, or were you traveling around playing basketball and getting little glimpses of the country?
Well, because you only play once a week, Saturday nights. So we had a lot of downtime, and we got a chance to see the country, traveling. It wasn't, I didn't get a chance to spend an off season there I never spent a Christmas there until the year 2000. So when my wife and I would come back from the States and we travel around, Margaret and I would see all the different places that I never got a chance to see, seeing her family. 'Cause it's a beautiful country, and it's a place where I want to retire in, hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very good. So did you play in the Drake Adult League?
Yeah.
Summer League?
Yeah. Hilda's Coffee Shop, play along with Brian Shaw. The one memory I do have of that, and it's not a good memory for me, and Josh, you might have a good laugh about this. Remember Harold Keating,
Of course.
Santa Clara guard?
They're an awesome player.
Harold Keating took off from the dotted off 2 feet and literally slammed me, dunked over me. And I went up with him, and at the point I was like, oh, this is not good. And that's my one biggest memory. And then I realized I can't get dunked on again. And luckily you haven't dunked on me yet.
Yeah.
But no, that was a great league. There's a lot of great players.
Yeah.
It was the only, as you guys know, it's the only league that was sanctioned by the NCAA, where college players, Kevin Johnson had to come down and play.
Yep.
All the guys from St. Mary's would play. Just a phenomenal league.
I remember going to those games. I remember seeing you play in that league. So I forgot that you played for Hill. Actually, Duffy and I just had breakfast at Hilda
We did with Mike Fulton
with Mike Fulton
Yeah.
and John Granucci a couple days ago.
and Tyler Walker.
That's right. Tyler Walker was there. Hi, Tyler.
It's a great place.
It's a great place.
He would always take me because we would every Sunday morning we would go down to Drake and just watch all the guys play, watch all the old men play.
Yeah.
And we would always go to Hilda's, and I just thought the place was great. So that's a legendary place in my book for sure.
Josh is talking about old men. They're probably like 30.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
not ancient men.
Yeah. All right. So question for both of you. Duff, why don't you ask your Marin question?
Okay.
How do I phrase that? Yeah.
You said, well, here's what Duffy wrote. Oh, go ahead, Duff. You got it.
Yeah. All right. We've talked to a couple people about this. We've debated it. So Marin basketball seems special to us. Like, you've
Yeah.
got the stories about, the summer leagues, the Drake courts, the legendary teams. It seems like in doing this podcast, like all sorts of people from the history of basketball have reached out to us. It seems different and distinct than maybe in some other places.
Right.
But we wonder,
Are we just biased?
are we just biased because we're in it? And, so we've spent our lives in Marin involved in basketball.
Probably a little bit both. I mean, I'm sure there's some other areas that have the same thing, but we have a rich history of basketball.
Yeah.
Even we'll stick with Drake. Going back to the great teams in the 70s with Eddie Joe Chavez, who played against Michael Jordan and Magic Johnson, the Dream Team.
Yeah.
We do have a rich history. The outside courts, people coming from all over to play at the Drake Summer League. I think it really is cool. And
Pirate Camp was a really important piece of Marin history.
I have a guy at work who works in a lot. Who told me I coached him way back, and I was like, did I coach you? Okay,
By the way, Doug, you coached me at Pirate.
Yes, I know, and that was with Lavin was also one of the coaches.
Wow, absolutely.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Won the championship that week.
I only won it once because Steve Lavin would have his team in defensive stance, and you can hear him coaching. I mean, literally, you knew he was going to be a coach. Yeah,
Clapping. Steve was always clapping. Yeah, Steve Spencer. Those were great days. But yeah, I mean, I think I agree with you. I think it's probably a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Right. But it is cool, like the whole Drake in the 80s being kind of the mecca of basketball in the Bay Area. I think that's real.
Yeah.
That this is where people came, which is super cool.
Stance.
yeah.
All right, let's nerd out. Josh, what's your favorite?
Was this crunch time?
No,
Oh, okay.
because it's a debate about the favorite drill question. Is it a crunch time question or not? We've gone back and forth. But I like that your call last time that there's some back and forth there. Josh, what's your favorite drill, like in practice?
Ooh, that's tough.
You can say it's a shooting drill. It's fine.
I mean, I'll go both. I mean, for one, we do this thing for offense. It's called the 11-man drill. So it's pretty much like a 3-on-2 kind of, and then person shoots, and then the person that gets the rebound, there's 2 outlets that come to the ball.
Yep.
And they go down and like.
So it's a continuous 3-on-2.
Yeah.
Okay.
Heard about that.
Literally
like 2 days ago.
So Carrie Barrett, who is a legendary Novato High School grad, who's now coaching down in Southern California, we asked her, she's a now coach. She played at Cal. What's your favorite drill? She said 11-man break. And she literally, this is the exact same drill.
It's a Novato drill.
I guess so.
You know, we had my guy I played with in New Zealand, Tony Bennett.
Oh, yeah.
He would come in and lead us through ball skills. And ball skills were stuff. And he would do something where he'd throw it up in the air and he would catch it, put his hands underneath, catch it, through his legs. But his quickness, his skills.
I've tried it before.
Yeah.
Throw it up in the air and then catch it, like lean through.
Yeah, he catch. Yeah, but he went through these ball handling skills, and Tony was one of the best guards I ever played with overseas in North Harbor in New Zealand.
He's the coach at UVA.
Yeah.
Washington State.
Yeah, with Washington State. Yeah, UVA.
I think he played at Wisconsin Green Bay.
Yeah, great.
And then another drill.
He actually won drill. Now you want to go 2 drills?
No, that's good. Absolutely. Hey, this is a nerdy podcast.
then-
This is where we take our notes.
Well, I mean,
Stuff.
because I said one drill for like playing like 3-on-2 continuous.
Yeah.
Now, on the like defensive side of things, we did this one drill where it's just 4-on-4 shell drill that turns into live. But the reason I'm a big fan of it is because we have very intense practices. I mean, there's guys that are going at each other.
Yeah.
And our 2 head coaches, Coach David Blair, Coach Roger Baker, they're very intense coaches. So, I mean, going into the practice, I mean, we expect it to be intense, and especially when we do this drill, you hear the gym's loud because we're all just like communicating the whole time.
Right.
And then as soon as we get a stop, we're celebrating like we just won the championship.
That's awesome.
Because
Competitiveness is great.
Mm-hmm.
I got Tony Butler showed me a drill recently that's awesome. So it's a shell drill. He calls it the Butler drill, but that's not because of Tony Butler. I think it's Butler University, but it's a 4-on-4 shell. But you start off with one of the defenders starts at half court. So it's 4-on-3. So the offense is just moving the ball. And so it's 4-on-3 and the defense is just scrambling, taking ball, kind of at a disadvantaged position, but offense is just moving the ball. They're not driving. The player at half court sprints down to the other end of the floor and comes back. And as soon as that player gets back, it's live 4-on-4.
Oh, wow.
So it's 4-on-3, passing the ball around, defense scrambling. Now all of a sudden it's 4-on-4 and you go right away, you go live. And it's awesome.
That's
really
or
good
you
drill.
can do the one where you start 4-on-4, coach blows the whistle.
One of the players
has to run to half court and back, and then fly.
And that's live, yeah.
Then that's good for
Yeah.
scramble defense.
Shell drill is so
And
so
there's
good.
also the 4-on-4 or 5-on-5 transition drill,
Right.
which you start 4 or 5 guys at like the free throw line extended, and then there's like the 4 or 5 guys on the baseline, and you're like across someone, and then the coach would pass to someone on the baseline, and then if you're like across from the guy that just got the ball, you have to run to the baseline first,
And then get back on
and then get back on defense, and that helps.
It's a great drill.
Yeah.
It helps get transition defense and like communication.
Yep.
I have had debates with players on our team because when we do that, the guys just want to dribble up the sideline. They get passed near the sideline.
Yeah.
And I feel it's like, get the ball just right in the middle.
Yeah.
But
That's gone away. I
yeah,
the whole gone away. I mean, I see a lot too much guys aren't getting, fundamentals. Going back to Pete Haver days, get the ball in the middle.
of the court.
Guys got to spread, and go. It's hard when I see kids dribbling up sideline, unless it's a sideline out, break, whatever.
if it's a pass ahead, sure. Or if it's the fastest player on the floor and you can beat everyone sideline, go. But if you're like one of our bigs and you're dribbling the ball up the left sideline with your left hand, I don't know. We don't do that drill very well.
Yeah.
Anyway, but we're getting off topic.
No, we're good. We love talking drills. All right, now I think we have reached crunch time. This is the most important part of the interview, Josh and Doug. Okay, Josh,
Yes.
unbiased answer. Favorite gym in Marin?
Well, besides Novato,
That's the bias.
and
No, now be unbiased.
and then besides the Novato, like, because we have like the main gym, and then I love playing in like the old gym because I love the floors in the old gym.
The old gym's great and also much easier to get to, right by the parking lot.
Absolutely.
You got to walk all the way down to get to the Gordon gym.
I mean, besides those, I'm being honest, I would say either playing at Redwood or Drake for
Okay.
sure. The reason for Redwood, it's just a big gym.
Yeah.
I mean, like the hoops are nice. It's a great court.
Yeah.
The reason I'm a big fan of Drake is because I love the floors because they're very springy. Like there's a lot more springs in the floor, it feels like, compared to all the other courts because it's like a new floor. So yeah, between Drake
And you should
Redwood,
fall
for sure.
well.
Absolutely. Yeah.
That's what I know.
You lost me at springy floor because that assumes that I can jump and I can't. But all right, those are good answers. Doug,
Yeah.
favorite gym in Marin?
Drake. Besides Novato, Archie Williams. Sorry, that foot.
We can go Drake.
No, I go Drake, but you know what? They've done a great job with the whole change.
Yeah.
But cleaning it up, and stuff. It's good. But I'll pick Novato, but my heart's still a Drake.
Yeah. The history of the Drake gym is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Okay, Josh, give us 2 surprise picks for all league for them, Cal.
Ooh, that's a good one. To be blatantly honest, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised to see Dugas from Drake make the first team. I mean, just a very talented guard all around. I mean, he's strong, very smart player, very high IQ. I mean, I think his GPA is like 4.3, 4.4, which means he's a smart kid.
Tough kid too.
Tough kid.
Yeah.
I love watching him play.
Him for sure. And then one that really surprised me is Highlanders from Branson.
Yeah.
I mean, 6'7", 6'8", sophomore. Just a very talented big. I mean, we played against him because he started for them when we played Branson a few days ago.
Okay.
And he just very talented big man. So I mean, him and Owen are two
Good answers.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are great. The league's been really fun to watch this year. Like,
yeah.
There are no easy games, and particularly on the boys' side. I mean, even like you look at Santa Fe. Santa Fe's got their record's not very good,
No.
but Santa Fe's in games.
Yeah. I mean,
Like-
I mean, there's talent. I mean, there's talented players on every team. I mean, you
Yeah.
obviously have the guys from Branson, Redwood,
Right.
but then you go to teams like Santa Fe, Gio Bravelli, who's a very good shooter.
Phenomenal.
You go to school like Terlinda, who's Grady Bowers. I mean, who's
Totally.
just a great all around player. I mean,
Yeah.
there's talent
Chase Adelman. Yeah.
on every team, and Chase too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty close to Chase.
Yeah.
So I mean, there's talent on every
Yeah.
single team in the league, which just shows like how good this league really is.
Mm.
Totally agree.
It's a very talented league.
Totally agree. Doug, toughest player you ever played against? Let's start with Marin, and then
Mhm.
we're going to go overall. But toughest player in Marin that you ever played against?
Besides George Noctree.
Yeah. Oh, no, I got to go Buck Chavez. Only because the amount of scratches and cuts. If you're playing Buck Chavez and outside court Drake's where the swimming pool was, there's a fence right.
Yeah.
You're hitting the fence. The worst thing is 8:00 in the morning, Buck Chavez rolling up in his pajamas and warming up, and then you start playing. I have to guard him, and he's literally taking you, throwing you around to the ground. By far the guy that helped me get scrappier, but definitely Buck Chavez.
Okay. Now, how about overall?
I mean, I could throw out David Robinson.
There you go. That's a
Playing
great
against
answer.
him. I know a guy in New Zealand. He's now actually the coach of the Tall Blacks New Zealand national team, Peril Cameron. He was a big 6'8", big dude that literally knocked me out on TV when we played against Auckland. He hit me with an elbow to my temple. I got up and I ran down and I tried to punch the first guy I can get. But Peril was always a guy that you couldn't move him around.
Yeah.
But for me, that was him.
I assume this was before we would go through the concussion protocol.
Yeah, no, yeah.
That was the go fight someone.
Yeah, exactly.
I literally tried to run down and I hit their American Kenny Stone. I hit him in the head with a forearm, and I got the foul called.
Yeah. Retaliations always gets.
And the funny thing, the next day, that referee was giving a referee clinic, and I went into the gym and a bunch of young kids, and he was showing the video, and there's a video of me getting knocked down. I said, Kenny, you saw me get hit. Why didn't you call something? And he didn't. So whatever. Maybe I wasn't liked.
That's amazing. By the way, I'd never heard of the Tall Blacks.
Yeah.
So there's the All Blacks.
All white.
All white soccer team, the Silver Ferns.
So clever. So clever. Okay, Josh, toughest player you've ever played against.
I mean, when I was a sophomore playing varsity, probably playing against Will Hambert from Drake. I mean, just super talented, this player. I mean,
Playing at Seattle,
yeah, I
Really can handle the ball very well.
absolutely. And because I remember we were playing, like, the very first time we played him was at home, and this was still when fans weren't really weren't able to come watch.
It was just after COVID.
Yeah,
Right? Yeah.
and when I was sophomore on varsity, I mean, my minutes were probably 10, 12 minutes a game. But this game, I checked in after 2 minutes after the game started, and I'm like, all right. And I came in for the guy that was guarding Will, and I thought, oh, coach is not going to have to put me on Will. And he's like, all right, Josh, you're guarding Will. I'm like,
Oh boy.
oh boy. And then I just remember the first play, he got the ball in the wing, and then he drove baseline on me and just bumped right in my chest, just knocked the wind out of me.
Oh, yeah.
That was
Welcome to the league,
Yeah.
man.
yeah, absolutely. So I would say Will probably.
That's a good answer. Good answer. Okay, Doug, dream team. You're playing pickup at Drake. You and 4 others. What do you got?
Well, I'm going with my son.
That's a good answer.
He's one of them.
So right off, we're going 6'7", 6'8".
Yeah, 6.
Be a tough.
I got to go Bucky Chavez.
Okay.
I got to go with probably the greatest player ever to come out of the county with Eddie Joe Chavez by far. And I need a kid to get me the ball.
Yeah, you need a passer.
I need a pass. So I'm going with Mike Fulton.
Okay, that's great.
I mean, I got to go with Mike.
That's an unbelievable team. I think Josh is going to get some shots in that team.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to demand the ball more.
That's
Josh,
you're probably not going to get many shots. Your
I'll
dad's probably
probably
take all the shots.
I'll probably just maybe get my dad the ball and just sit ahead of
Set some screens.
There was
Yeah.
some good screens set by that team.
Yeah,
Eddie Joe sets a really good screen.
Yeah.
For the
as
ball.
long as we win the game, that's all we got.
There you go. That's the right answer.
As long as we win.
Okay, favorite restaurant in Marin.
Oof.
You guys were talking about this beforehand. This was the question that stressed you out the most.
It probably did because I can always go Hilda's. Growing up,
That's a great answer.
it is my great answer.
Sentimentality matters.
For me, I'm being honest, and we had this yesterday.
Be honest, Josh.
Chick-fil-A.
Marvin's in Novato.
Oh yeah,
Great breakfast place.
that's a good spot.
I've been.
We went there yesterday morning, or it was yesterday afternoon.
Wait, what street is that on?
Before the game. It's on.
Is it Grant?
It's on Grant. It's
It's really good.
a lot of food. Decent price, but Josh had the pancakes and it only can eat half of them. It was just a ton of food.
Wow, that's a good answer. And by the way, the favorite restaurant in Marin, I love that question, but it's always, potential sponsor situation too. Marvin's, call us.
Ah.
Okay,
Good thinking, dude.
before we wrap up, I like, Doug, will you tell the George Knocktrebe story? Because I like that one.
Well, George is the guy I worked with at Marin Academy, and he probably was the smartest guy I've ever helped coach.
So he was a player at Marin Academy. He's a post player at Marin Academy.
He was class president. He was in the theater.
I knew George. He went to Marin Academy. He went to MCDS.
It was so I like all the kids at MSA and Novato, with the music, and it was just I had to get a quick plug in for the MSA because Josh is a trombone player there. Get a minor in music at Cal-Lu. So Mom wanted me to point that in. But George, I was yelling at him he passed the ball into the post, and I said, George, you got a ball fake because the ball was taken. And he goes, no, I'm using reverse psychology, right? Instead of ball fake, I'm just going to pass it in because they think I'm going to, ball fake. and after he said that, you get mad.
You argue with that.
You get mad at a player, and I was like, yeah, okay.
Okay.
Thanks, George. You're smarter than me.
Well, sometimes that is a strategy. You just pass so quick before the defense actually is ready to defend it.
Just the fact that he had to answer what
He
was amazing.
right. He had it.
You made him a lot better. I remember that because he was a big guy, had the skills, but was pretty soft.
Yeah.
And you helped. And you helped toughen him up. Who became a pretty good player.
I've never heard someone use reverse psychology.
So Josh, whenever you make a mistake and your coach is like, Josh, why'd you turn the ball over? It's like reverse psychology. They weren't expecting me to turn it over. So that's a great answer. Guys, this has been super fun. Thank you so much for the time. Josh, so win these last 2 games, get an NCS.
Yes, sir.
Congrats on all your success.
Appreciate that.
And we'll be looking for you next year at Cal-Lu. Excited to see you continue your career. And Doug, thanks for everything. And you're a legend. Thank you for coaching me at Pirate Camp circa 1984. It's awesome to see you guys.
Marin Athletic Foundation. Hopefully you're listening.
Yeah, Marin Athletic Foundation. We have a nominee for you.
Well, thank you for having us. It's been fun. You guys are doing a great job, and it's fun to listen to. And I hope you guys keep this going.
We'll keep it going.
Yeah.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for
Appreciate
supporting.
it.
Thank you.
All right, sir. All right. Thank you, Josh. Thank you, Doug. That was a great interview. I think we all enjoyed it. So, Dave, we're going to start with an update on Novato.
Yeah.
So they play San Marin tonight. This is Thursday. They had a tough loss to MC. I don't recall whether that game was home or away on Tuesday, 68-64, which unfortunately knocked them out of consideration for the MCAL playoffs. I think they had a slight chance of getting in at that point. And I believe also for NCS.
Yeah, Josh said they had to win that one for NCS. Yeah. So that's too bad. But, Novato's a really good team. I mean, you guys, Archie, awesome team. You guys are firmly in the playoff hunt, and Novato was up 20 on you guys in the third quarter, and it took an amazing effort for you guys to come and win that game. So Novato, really good team, just tough league.
Tough league. I mean, Terralinda only has one win, and it was over an MC team that beat Redwood twice, right?
Yeah.
So it's every game has been a battle and a rock fight.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, we didn't get a chance to really talk about Doug's game, but we heard a little bit about it beforehand, and I saw it in action.
Yeah.
But why don't you describe his signature move, Dave?
Yeah. Well, so, I mean, I wasn't kidding. I grew up worshiping Doug DeVore. He coached me at Pirate Camp. I remember seeing him play in adult leagues. And I was talking to Mike Fulton and Tom Poser about Doug a couple days ago, and Tom reminded me of Doug's patented move, which was he had the ability to kind of lean in and then fade away off one foot with this high arcing shot. It was very Dirk Nowitzki-esque.
Mm-hmm.
And, Doug's 6'7", 6'8", and he could get that shot off over much bigger guys. And so his ability as a big guy to take players out to the perimeter was really effective. And that really developed after high school for him.
Right.
Because in high school, they kind of put him on the block, right? So at College of Marin, he kind of blossomed. And he talks a lot about how Mike Fulton had a part in that because Mike was giving him the ball in positions where he could score. And then he thrived at the Division I level and went on, as we talked about, over a decade of playing pro ball. But Doug was really fun to watch, and the dude could score.
Yeah, and probably if he were in his prime right now, he probably would be even more of a fit for today's
Exactly.
game. They might even call him Dirk DeVore.
Yes, exactly. No, his game, he was ahead of his time.
Yep. Okay, Dave, I just have a couple other things. One, Hilda's, you'll be hearing from us. We think you'd be an absolute wonderful sponsor for our program.
Indeed.
And then Owen Bugas was pretty psyched that Josh mentioned him, in the conversation about predictions for all league. And Owen, who along with Julian, Nickel, and Alex Mardikin, they had senior night on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Only 3 seniors. And I personally am not biased. I think Owen should be player of the year for the boys side. MCAL.
Okay. Love it.
That's not a prediction. That's an endorsement.
Love it. Owen can play, man. I love watching him play. But yeah, this was a really fun interview. Thanks again to Josh, and continually impressed with the high schoolers who we've had on, their poise and ability to answer these questions from these old guys.
Yeah.
Josh was great, and I'm really looking forward to seeing him progress at Cal-Lutheran. I think the Cal-Lutheran's got a great program. They have a really good coaching staff. They play in a great conference with a lot of Marin kids who play down there. So I think Josh is going to thrive in that environment.
Yeah. He might end up at D1, right?
Very well could. I mean, they even said, Doug mentioned that during the recruiting process, Coach White said, look, after a year or two, if you want to go somewhere else, we'll help you get there.
Yeah.
And that's pretty cool.
Cool. Yeah.
Keep your eyes open for Josh DeVore. And thanks again to Doug and Josh for the time. That was a fun conversation.
Yep. Agreed. And thank you to our listeners and to our sponsors. We thank Jeff Skaggs, Nike San Domenico Camp. We thank Karen Horstmeyer. We thank The Hub, and we thank Medium. And we're thanking in advance others that might be joining the sponsorship team. This has been the Run TMC podcast. That is a podcast about basketball in Marin County. Thank you for listening and supporting us. And we'll be back at you soon.
Sounds good. Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Burke's on his feet. He looks up and gives me a grin and says, "Hey dude, you too must be from Marin. Marin County's A.O.